Welcome to Crushgasm, the podcast dedicated to the highs and lows of crushes. From their first to their worst, we're going to cover them all with a cascade of characters, including our guest today, a leading ringmaster, Diandre Robinson, a dad, poker player, and podcaster who is here to talk not only about his show, Mass Debaters, but also about one of the most iconic mothers to ever grace the small screen, his TV MILF crush, none other than Phylicia Rashad. Diandre, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I know you're a little sleepy, but hopefully talking about your MILF crush will wake you up.
Oh, my goodness. You definitely can.
So let's hop right into this because the Cosby Show, it wasn't just a show. It was a show I didn't watch too regularly. I would catch it here and there, but it was more in syndication because I'm a little younger than when it came out. But what about you? Were you watching it regularly? Were you like, oh my God, Cosby Show's on? Or was it more like a Nick at Night situation?
My mom put me on the Cosby Show. I mean, I definitely will say that. I watched it pretty regularly. I know most of the episodes by heart. Most iconic episodes by heart. So I wasn't if you ask me trivia, I could do okay, but I wouldn't ace it at all.
Yep. Like a C+ student in the Cosby Show. All right. There's shows you know a lot more, shows you know a lot less. Understandable. I would probably get a D- in Cosby Show, probably an F, really, if I'm being honest. I watched it here and very much there. So what initially, other than your mom, what drew you into it once she sat you down and was watching it with her?
Well, I got in truth, what I saw from the Cosby Show is what drew me to it. Being from born and raised in Philadelphia, the hoods of Philadelphia, and you didn't see a lot of families like Huxtables or the Banks, black families that's thriving.
And on the flip side, you're about 10 years old and you're watching the show with your mom, and you could have really fallen in love with a number of Huxtables. They were all beautiful. Rudy, Vanessa, Denise. So what drew you to Claire? What about that matriarch made your tween heart take notice?
I love women that don't take any crap. Don't take any shit. And Claire, strong black woman, ideal strong black woman for me. Beautiful inside and out. Took care of her family, make sure her family was safe, make sure that nobody messed with her family. The one episode that really got me was when one of her kids' future husbands said that she served her husband, and then she went off. I said, "Oh my goodness, that's my kind of one right there." Oh my goodness. Even that, I think it was 12, 13 years old. I'm like, oh my God, yes.
So she definitely had a lot going for her. She wasn't just beautiful, she was also a career woman. Was the idea of her being a lawyer appealing to you as a kid, or was that something that you grew to love as you got older? Because as a kid, are you really admiring lawyer characters? I don't know. I did like Ally McBeal.
So not so far her being a lawyer, but being successful as a preteen teenager, because that's when I really started watching. You see both the mom and the dad, one's a doctor, one's a lawyer, but they was more successful. And again, going to Philly, just surrounding, I'm not saying that people weren't successful. What I am saying is that you see a lot more of, for lack of better words, non-successful people. That's a little harsh too. You see a lot of negative things, negative about black people in the hood in Philadelphia. So with her being successful and having, I want to say 4 or 5 kids, that did it for me as well.
And you mentioned you liked this show because it showed, the Cosby Show was very iconic in what it did, despite, what the lead actor did later in life or whatever. That's not the point. But, as the series as a whole, you can't deny, no one can deny what it did for television. Because I think before that, for me, I would see Good Times, they were struggling. And then, Sanford and Son, they were in a junkyard. And even the Jeffersons, they were moving on up, but we were always reminded of that. But the Cosby Show just started out, they were doing so well. So when you think about that, did that kind of influence you later in life to maybe strive for more in your neighborhood? That was maybe more on the Good Times struggle bus?
What made me strive for more for my neighborhood wasn't TV shows. I won't say that now. However, though, I do remember. So I did watch a lot of Good Times, a lot of Jeffersons. Sanford and Son is one of my favorite. Sanford and Son is one of my favorite. Fred G. Sanford is one of my favorite characters of all time. However, though, which made me strive to make my community better, which I still do today, even though I am across the country with my community. And again, it didn't help that the portrayal of Black people and a lot of things, we literally just started getting positive light on different shows. And yes, you're right. The Cosby Show is one of the first shows that was a positive light. And the star of the show, I won't say his name. However, he made sure that, but the one thing I will say, he made sure that everything was positive about Black people in this show. He got psychologists to even come out to talk to him about it, so he can make sure that everything's positive in the show. So what made me fight for my community wasn't really this show; it was seeing the community and wanting to fight back for more.
And then in the future, did that lead you to watch shows like Blackish? Because they have top tier TV MILFs too, from Tracee Ellis Ross to Jennifer Lewis. I mean,
yes. So Jennifer Lewis, I mean, I love Jennifer Lewis. I do. Quintessential Black TV mom. And God of truth, I would love for her to be my aunt. Like, oh God, I always wanted her to be my aunt because I know for a fact I'm going to have fun, but I'm going to learn some lessons. Like yeah. And then Tracee Ellis Ross was Tracee Ellis Ross. Girlfriends was I mean, even as a guy, Girlfriends was a good show.
Such a sad thing that they didn't get a proper ending.
No, not at all. How they got a spinoff, but they didn't get proper ending. And the game was a spinoff of Girlfriends actually. But they did not get a proper ending, which sucked so bad because that show was actually another show that, I mean, every show has its bad times, but it showed Black people, Black women, in a positive light. Different Black women. They were all the same. They were all different, and they showed them in a positive light. And I love that about that show. And I love Tracee Ellis Ross. Blackish is another show that I love to see Black people in a positive light. So I haven't really gotten into Grownish yet. I'm hoping it's the same way.
Oh, Grownish is great. I haven't seen the last season and a half, but from the start to then, it was it's so good. The characters are great. They do have, I know Junior is now on Grownish since Blackish ended, and he's done taking a break from college, so he's coming to the school now. Oh, it's so good. I hope you enjoy it. It's really...
I'm definitely going to try it, yes.
Well, back to your crush on Phylicia. You were just a kid at the time. Did this crush kind of kickstart an interest in older women as you got older?
Actually, yeah, it did. When I turned 21, I dated multiple women 10 plus years older than 10 years or plus older than I was, and probably and it's going to sound bad, but probably, and I didn't think about it this way, but it's probably because Phylicia Rashad.
There you go. Discovering things about yourself.
Yeah, I am actually. But yeah, I 21 plus years old. I did date a lot of, not with multiple women, over the age of 10 plus years or more. So yeah, to answer that question and to look back on my life, yes.
It all started with watching The Cosby Show. Well, and again, she is just forever, and she's always going to be in like a top 10 list of TV moms, but in recent years we've gotten a lot of other great moms since The Cosby Show left the air. Have any of them, in your eyes, come close to being on the same level as Clair Huxtable?
No. I mean, and I say no fast because Clair was the first. Clair / Phylicia Rashad was the first person that, that I looked on TV. I was looking forward to watching The Cosby Show because A, The Cosby Show was good, but B, definitely because of Phylicia Rashad. However, though, but now that I'm older, I guess, I'm not the same person. Now, Phylicia Rashad always have to, again, even till this day, Phylicia Rashad ever said, marry me, like today, I'm probably going to change my name to Diandre Robinson. Like, it's not, however, though, I don't see any, no, don't get me wrong, there are beautiful moms, TV moms out there. i.e. Tracy Ellis Ross, and I keep calling her Gina, but Gina from Martin, but she played on My Life and Kids. She was beautiful. Tisha Campbell, that's her name, Tisha Campbell. And then Tisha Campbell's friend, when she played Everybody Hates Chris, she was beautiful. So there are multiple beautiful TV moms out there.
Well, and you've noted that when it comes to Phylicia Rashad, you would marry her in a heartbeat. The crush is still going strong. With that, have you checked her out as a mom in the new Creed movies and also This Is Us, where she plays another mom?
So This Is Us, definitely. Side note, I went to school with, and actually we were friends back in high school. And she was graduating way before a year before I did. With one of the writers for This Is Us. So I had to watch it. Her name is K.O. Yagi, and we went to university together. And she's doing the Maya Angelou story as well, which is coming out soon. So yes, everything from even when she was like Phylicia Rashad, even when she was wasn't the best person in Good Deeds. I'm not even a Tyler Perry fan, but in Good Deeds she was like, oh my goodness, it's great as hell. So Good Deeds, when she had cameos in Empire, I love that. Creed, when she brought in Creed, I love that as well. When I see her now, I still think how she's one of the most beautiful women in the world.
Now it's time to write our own sitcom here. So it's going to be you and Phylicia Rashad starring as a power couple on the small screen. And so just tell me, what do you think this series would be about? How many kids would you have? What would your jobs be? Where is it set? Just give us the quick details.
Oh man, put me on the spot. Okay, so
you haven't thought about this before?
I may have not, but doing it now, like doing the age now, because Phylicia Rashad is like 69 years old. So I mean, give or take. So 74 years old. Just looked up, 74 years old. So this would have to be an awkward, not too awkward, but an awkward kind of sitcom where she's older and I'm a little bit younger. Like I said, I'm only 34, so she's 40 years older than me. So I don't think that we have kids together in this sitcom. I think that
probably has like adult kids.
Yes. I think that she has adult kids that don't approve of this relationship. I bring a kid in with me that don't approve of her, that loves her actually, but probably see her as grandma or something like that. And then we figure out how to make this love work as an age difference. So I'll call it. I actually got on truth. I probably would call it age gap. Just a name off the top of my head. Age gap. Yeah. And you know what? Down the truth, I'm going to look more into this idea of me and Phylicia Rashad being in a sitcom together.
Netflix, if you're listening, age gap, pick it up.
Age gap. There you go.
Well, there you go. You have a creative project sprung from this. So now it's time to change the channel, if you will, and talk more about Mass Debaters. Y'all had yourselves a bit of a pandemic baby, like many of us, and kicked off the show, I'd say pretty early in July 2020. Had this been something you'd wanted to do for a while, or was it like, hey, we're in the thick of a pandemic, let's start something?
We did start Mass Debaters. Actually, when we started, it was called Versus. It was called Versus, and we had to change the name from Versus to Mass Debaters because there were so many podcasts called Versus. So many, and we thought that we would piggyback off of the show that they're doing Versus now. So we thought we did do that, and it did not work out as we thought it would. We thought it would. So we had Mass Debaters, and we started it because it was a pandemic baby. But as you know, like you see it. Because we're friends on Facebook now. I post a lot, and when I post a lot on Facebook, it was never the things I'm posting now. Like now, I'm posting about the brackets, which I'll get to soon. But I just have deep thought questionings, weird questionings as well. And I just thought about it. I was like, listen, we can just do a podcast, see how we can do it. And I asked 3 of my friends that they want to join. One is still there. One is doing the wrestling podcast with me, and one is not. And yeah, you can consider it a COVID baby. And I'm not going to lie to you. I actually, in real life, have a COVID baby.
Oh.
So it's my second COVID baby. Right. So, but we did start during COVID, and we did, but it was more not because of we wanted to do something for COVID. We just really wanted to just talk about a lot of stuff that we could talk about. And so, yes, it's a COVID baby, but we didn't, to us, because we get this question a lot. To us, we don't feel like it was because of COVID we did this. We started this.
With a lot of shows, they tend to stick with pop culture, but Masturbators is about debating any and everything under the sun. I love that you really cover a lot of things, and right out the gate, you were like, worst type of person to date, best Tarantino movie. Those are very different topics. You do episodes like that, is it sort of just like taking a topic out of a hat, or are these things that are on your mind all week and you're like, let me take it to the rest of the Masturbators?
When we first started, we did 3 topics per episode. Then we went down to 2, and now just 1 topic because it was just so long. So when we started this, it was kind of the name out of hat. It was I asked, we have the spreadsheet, and I asked everybody in one podcast, because I have 3 other hosts as well on a podcast, to put their ideas in the spreadsheet. We call it the topic Bible. We would every week before we would go to the topic Bible, and when we started, it was movie. We tried to make it movie, music, food, like in that area, because we had 3 topics. But now what we do is, if you come on the show, the guest star actually picks the topic that they want to do, and it's easy for us.
Put it on someone else.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I like that. And you mentioned you guys do pop culture brackets as well, and since I became your friend on Facebook, I follow on Twitter, these sometimes give me I'm like yelling at the results, because I'm like, how? It was like Clueless versus something, I think Wayne's World, and I was so mad that Wayne's World was winning. I was like, how can this be? But it's all in fun. Everyone has their opinions, but has there ever been a movie that is close to your heart that's gotten taken out that made you kind of feel like it was a personal attack?
So before we did this type of brackets, when we had everyone vote, we tried to do a brackets of our own. Sorry, my dog was barking. We tried to do brackets of our own, and then we started this one because we thought it was easier. And it is easier for everybody but me. But our first one, we did 80s movies. We did something else, and then we did black movies, because we thought that black movies wasn't represented enough in these categories. And in the first round, and it's 104. If you don't know, it's 104 movies. And in the first freaking round, The Wiz lost to Sister Act in the first round, which to me personally, I don't think the first Sister Act is a black movie per se, only because, yes, it has a black main character. However, she's the only black person in the movie.
Also, who needs that one when you got the sequel?
Thank you. And if the sequel would have beat it, fine. I can't really get mad. The Wiz is one of my favorite musical of all time. And I tell people who ever listen that The Wiz is better than The Wizard of Oz. I will say it to the day I die. However, though, if Sister Act 2 would have beat The Wiz, I can't get too mad at that. However, Sister Act 1 beat The Wiz, and I was upset. I was heated. I was like, oh no, this cannot be true. This cannot be true at all. And it beat it by a lot. It beat like 70+% of the votes. And it was gross. It was gross. I didn't like it at all. But the winner of that bracket, 104 black movies, was Coming to America, which is my favorite movie of all time. So it redeemed itself.
So you're like, you got your heart broken right out the gate, but at least you got the redemption. And what are some tournaments that you've been wanting to do that you guys haven't maybe done yet for brackets?
So we are. That's coming up. We are going to do horror. Well, first things first, I'm taking a month off. I no, here's the thing. I have like a panel of people that come on with this, and actually open invitation if you want to come on or anyone wants to come on as well. Just let me know. Open invitation to see the results or come on the show. Period. But I'm taking a month off because I do all the looking at the looking at Rotten Tomatoes for the rankings and all that kind of good stuff. I reseed every round. I post everything. Like I just need a break. When I come back in October, we're going to do horror movies. If we love Halloween, horror movies should be fun. 2000 movies we're going to do hip hop songs, the top 104 hip hop songs, rom-com movies, sports movies, action movies, classic rock songs, sitcoms, cartoons, and video games are coming up. And guys, I was just watching The Hitman's Bodyguard, which I'm a big Samuel L. Jackson fan for the fact that if I ever need somebody to narrate my life, it had to be Samuel L. Jackson. But I noticed that Singh is one of the top billed, like he has the most movies in movies, period.
Yeah.
So I would love to just do a Samuel Jackson movie tournament. Try to find 104 of them. If he's been in it, and he might not be the star of the movie, but if he's been in it, then just do that.
I bet Pulp Fiction would win, even though I don't like that movie, but I bet it would win. I'd bet money on that. So I thought we'd play a quick speed round based on TV moms. And we're not going to debate the following your answers, but perhaps your co-hosts, Cam, Dwayne, CJ, they'll listen to this and they'll want to take you on later in maybe a TV mom bracket based on your answers. So, right, so a TV mom you'd want by your side during a parent-teacher conference.
A TV mom that I will want by a parent. Oh, okay. Forgot her name. But it's a show called The League.
Jenny.
Jenny. I want Jenny by my side because I know for a fact that if my daughter, and I just had a daughter about 6 months ago, so I know myself, if my daughter start cursing at any young parents, I can literally just say, it's not just me, Point Jenny real quick. So yeah, I wouldn't mind having off the top of my head. Now, top of my head, definitely Jenny.
And the TV mom you feel is the best disciplinarian.
Michelle Rock from Everybody Hates Chris. I am not for abusing kids. I want to say that right now. Clair is everyone, but she did give out discipline for her kids when they did bad things. So I think that I'm going to Michelle Rock.
But to be fair, that show was set during a time.
During the early or late 80s, I think it was. So,
I grew up in the 90s and my mom was quick with it. Give me the shoe, give me my sandal.
Oh, my mom had something that people think I'm joking, but I'm dead serious. She had something called the boomerang shoe. It was this high heel that curved when she threw it. And I know it curved because she was in her room and I tried to run from getting spanking because something I did, and I ran and I felt the shoe smacking my back while down the hallway. I turn around, she's nowhere to be found. I go back in the room, she's sitting in the exact same place in the exact same style. It's the boomerang shoe. It's a whole boomerang shoe.
Not the Crocodile Dundee of moms over there.
Right there. God, truth, she probably is. Like that thing curves. I know for I know I saw a half curve one time. And so yeah, she had that boomerang shoe. So I understand.
A TV mom that would be the most fun on a family vacation.
I'm actually going to go with Aunt Viv. Actually, with this one.
You'd have a baller vacation.
Yeah, I definitely would.
TV mom who you think would pack the best school lunches.
Mrs. Evans from Good Times. There you go. Because I know for a fact that she knows how to go down in the kitchen.
And last one, TV mom that we didn't get to see become a grandma, but that you think would have been a great grandma had the show continued that long.
I actually don't think Bo was in her kids had kids from Blackish. So yeah, I'm gonna go Bo here. I think that Bo would have been a fantastic grandma. She was a fantastic mom. So Yeah, I think them would go both.
I would have loved to see Peggy Bundy as a grandma.
They were supposed to do a final, not final, but there's an idea thrown around just to do a 1 season reunion show for Married with Children.
I would have loved that. Well, do you remember? I mean, you're around my age, so you probably remember. Like, I always tell my husband that, like, Growing Pains and the Brady Bunch always used to have these one-off movies where they would reunite and we'd get to see where they are. I always was like, I think in contracts for TV shows, if the TV show lasts X amount of years and you have the fan base, it should be like required every 5 to 10 years you come back for a quick little movie, let us see what's going on, because it's like, I don't care what the actor's doing. Like The Office, I don't care what John Krasinski's doing today. I want to know what Jim Halpert's doing. Is he still with Pam? How is Austin? Like, John Krasinski, who cares, you know?
So I love that idea, because I'm tired of these reunion shows. Listen, don't get me wrong, I love seeing Martin in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion show. I was a big fan of Friends. Nowhere near a big fan of Friends, so I didn't even watch that reunion show. But the reunion show for Martin and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was, don't get me wrong, it was good. It gives some good like certain situations. However, though, I'm with you. That reunion show should have been at least a 1 episode to 2 episode show.
Not all the time, but 5 to 10 years, we can see. And even when like we all know Modern Family lasted 11 seasons. Ed O'Neill's probably not going to make it another 10 years, knock on wood, but see, they could reunite for his funeral or something, not to be too morbid, but go along with the reality. Let us just know what's up.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see a actual show for actual reunion or update review show of Married with Children. That'd be great. That'd be fantastic.
So many shows should do that because it's just like a thank you to the fans. Because I'm with you. Like the reunions are fine, like when you're sitting around, but it's like, I don't need to just hear you talk about it. I like I said, I want to know where the characters are, not so much the actors.
Yeah.
Like a Martin one. Could you imagine Martin in 2022? He would have a podcast.
I would love that. Only for a myriad of reasons to see where Gina Martin is, Pam. Like the last episode they went to California, so I would love to see them move back to that apartment for come back and see what they would do with Tommy, because rest in peace to Tommy. Mm-hmm. So like I would love that.
Wishful thinking. Let's put out some good vibes into the universe so we get that for all these shows. Like, who's gonna pay? I always said if I won the lottery, I would have my own studio where I just like bring back shows that got canceled, or I do these reunions, and that's all my content would be. I'd be like, they only got 2 seasons, but I love that show. I'm gonna pay for it. Let's go.
Yeah, there are certain shows that I would love to. Like, I talked about The League, and I've got the name. The League. However, though, I would bring back The League for at least 4 seasons. The League is one of my favorite shows of all time.
So good.
It's so hilarious. I watch The League around this time. I'm not watching it now. I'm going to be watching now. I'm watching it every this time because I play football all the time. So, like, you can't quite some French football player if you have to see The League, like, at all.
So, lastly, you told us what's coming up. We got horror movies coming up in October. That's exciting. So, where can we find Masturbators online?
So, Masturbators you can find on any podcast website, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Google, whatever. We are everywhere. Our website is masturbatorspodcast.com, but don't be surprised if it's not updated because I get lazy sometimes. But that's our website. And we are live. We have a disclaimer now that we are live in front of a live social media audience, which can be up to 80 people we had one time, could be up to 0 people sometimes, but it's still live on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. PT. Our next episode, we're doing the best concept album with the concept album podcast. And yeah, that's where you can find us. We are on all social media platforms as well. Masturbators on Facebook, Debaters_Mass on Twitter, Masturbators Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. And I think that's everywhere. That's everything.
Well, Diandre, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me about your TV MILF crush and these aspirations for the small screen that we have with Martin reunions.
Yes.
And everyone, you can find all the Masturbators information below. And until next time, keep crushing it.